Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today we got the first inaugural make your own dirty boxing card at home video basically. I'm gonna be matchmaking the DBX7 Atlanta card. Nothing's confirmed, but I'm assuming they're coming to Atlanta after the Nashville card in March because, they posted that they were, basically approved by the Georgia Athletic Commission and, just putting patterns together. They did the same shit with Houston and Nashville, and then they went there for the next card literally. So I assume DBX Atlanta could be later this year. I'm hoping for around late April to late May, somewhere in that kind of time frame, because I feel like unfortunately, just like starting off as a promotion, Dirty Boxing is probably gonna be like a every other month sort of thing, which is kind of unfortunate because that forces me to like have to wait to make all this content and all that. But that's just for me. That is what it is. But I get it at the end of the day. I'm still entertained nonetheless. No complaints over here. But I got 11 fights for you. It's going to be 11 fight card, or that's what mine is. I don't know if, they might do 12, 13, blah, blah, blah. But I got 2 early prelims, 4 prelims, and 5 on the main card. Pretty chill card. Sounds right. All right. First fight, starting off the card. We have Chris Burton versus Alexander Shank. And Chris Burton, obviously, is the guy who got sliced up by Corey on the DBX pilot or, premiere, the first ever DBX card that, not DBX1 basically. But and then Alexander Shank, who got, I'm pretty sure he's 1-1 in DBX. He won his first fight, I'm pretty sure, and then got, graped unfortunately by Montavious Ware. It is what it is. But I know Chris Burton had another DBX fight after the Corey one, but I don't know if he won it or not. But you could be 0-2 or 1-1. Whether, nonetheless, both of these guys are kind of in the same position. And, Chris Burton's actually good. He kind of brought it to Corey initially in that fight, if we're going to be honest. But, Corey warmed up, found what he needed to find, and, did what he did. Basically spammed the elbows, gave him trauma, whatever. But, Alexander Shank's actually good too. But, he could get finished if you just outbox him, basically. That's what he got exposed for. But I don't think Chris Burton's boxing's like a whole nother level like Montavious Ware. So this one would be a really good scrap, way closer. I could see a decision for Chris Burton, not going to lie. But, you never know. Second fight on the early prelims. We got Akeem the Dream Bashir versus Matt Muniz. Or Munoz, or whatever you want to say. Bro, rewatch Akeem versus Gabriel Urett. It's a great fight. Obviously, Urett finished Akeem, but Akeem still looked crispy, solid. Head movement, good. Elbows, good. Clinch work, good. Everything was good. He just kept on getting bombed by Gabriel's shots. Gabriel just got that power, you know what I'm saying? But this fight would be at a 35, because Matt Muniz, I'm pretty sure his last fight he went up to 45 or 40 or something against Haskell Rhodes, but he said he usually fights 35, so that'd be good. And I know Akeem can cut to 35 in. He probably would. So this would be a good fight. And plus, obviously, Akeem's from Atlanta, so that would help, get some people, sell some tickets or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he's also dangerous, and he's been in dirty boxing before, so it only makes sense. The last time he was on a DBX card was DBX 4 in Nashville, and he opened up the card. So I think, the second fight on the card is probably the good placement for him. Yeah, that's really it. Plus, Matt Muniz just is crazy. This is basically Muay Thai versus Muay Thai striking. Like, this is elbow war. Like, this is crazy matchmaking here. Like, if you know your game, you know what I'm talking about. Next, we go to the prelims. First prelim, we got our first girl fight of the card. We only got 2. Don't worry. We got Naomi Young versus Claudia Zamora. Listen, Claudia Zamora's not booked up. I don't think Naomi Young has really nobody that should fight her. We need some more movement within dirty boxing unless you pull someone off the street. But I think Claudia Zamora versus Naomi Young is a good fight. They could meet at 125 if they do that, or just go up to 35. But I could see a catch weight at 130 just because Naomi likes cutting a lot of weight. But also, because, bro, she literally looks like she's on death's door. Like, every time she weighs in, she has to have the towels around her. Or not every time, but, for her last DBX weigh-in, she had to. But, Claudia Zamora, too, obviously got the chin of chins for the females in dirty boxing. Or the women, sorry, not females. Women in dirty boxing. But, yeah, Claudia Zamora is decent, too. Obviously lost to Kat Nelson, lost to Jessie Jess, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. But she's pretty solid. Nonetheless, so I can see this one being a good scrap. Definitely going to be a closer fight than Bean Nguyen versus Naomi Young because they'll probably be closer in size. But Naomi will just be obviously have the size advantage, but obviously it would be closer. You know what I mean? But that could be a good scrap. Could definitely see this going to a Naomi Young decision. I don't think I see her finishing Claudia Zamora. Just being honest, Claudia's chin is just over reliable, and that's my opinion. And then we got the fourth fight of the card, second prelim. Bolo Carson, or Bolo, trains here in Atlanta, ATT Sandy Springs, heavyweight. Did I mention the NFC heavyweight champion? Did I also mention potential bare knuckle heavyweight NFC champion? If he wins his next fight up here in March, I'll talk about all the matchups for the gym in the next episode of, things DIORPIUM wants you to hear or whatever. But, if this is going to be late April, late May, this could definitely work for him if he doesn't take too much damage in the bare knuckle fight. That's really what scares me. But this could be good. And, bro, I'm telling you, Mike Perry, whoever the, owners are, the matchmakers, how do you not get Bolo on the card? How do you not Muay Thai champion of Atlanta, basically? Heavyweight. It's just, and he will sell tickets, trust me. But him versus Billy Swanson. Dude, trust me, this is easy money, bro. Maybe not, I'm talking about for the matchmakers. Billy Swanson lives in Nashville or is from Tennessee or whatever. Atlanta's right there. It's easy. There's not too much, that you got to do to make that fight happen. Plus, it'd be a good scrap. Two heavyweights going at it. Bolo's pure muscle, basically. And Billy Swanson's just big. And, Billy Swanson did dirty by Gable. So I believe he deserves one more shot at least against someone, that's not like Gable, like Bolo. Not trying to put down Bolo, but, Gable's young Olympic champion. We're just being honest here. But trust me, Bolo versus Billy Swanson is the fight to make. Plus, that would give you a bunch of reasons to get people from Nashville. Whoever will go to Nashville DBX4 will come to, not all of them, but will be more than likely to come, to DBX7 in Atlanta if they see Billy Swanson on that card. Hence, he was already the big name of Nashville, the big main event. So that'd be good to have him on there. Bolo versus Billy Swanson. Fifth fight on the card, another heavyweight bout. We got Sun Jun Lee versus Zach Palga. How do you not do that? How do you not do that? Sun Jun Lee looking crispy, looking good, crazy chin, coming off of a pretty dominant win over Victor Cardoso. But, everyone makes Victor Cardoso bleed. But Sun Jun Lee still did look pretty solid, pretty technically sound. Decent gas tank for a heavyweight. Obviously, all heavyweights are going to gas out. But he did survive. He looked good. Kept up a good pace. Like I said, great chin, too. Two spinning back elbows or fists or whatever in the third round. So he already took a damage. And at that point, to eat those, come on. Versus Zach Palga, who's just solid. Obviously, just finished Rakeem Cleveland, but Rakeem Cleveland obviously got that bicep injury. But also, he lost to Rob Perez, so it was by decision. And if he does somehow beat Sun Jun Lee, if this matchup is made, I could see him getting that rematch with Rob Perez. Goddamn, if Rob Perez, hasn't fought for a title or whatever. But I'm pretty sure Rob Perez is booked up for the Nashville DBX6. But anyway, Sun Jun Lee versus Zach Palga would be a good fight, good scrap, another heavyweight just bout that would be entertaining nonetheless. Next one, final featured prelim, Travis St. John versus Ilias Parasitis. This is the fight to make. I say you just tell Ilias, say fuck it, cut the extra 10 pounds or 11 pounds or whatever, go down to 205 because he fights heavyweight, but he's so small. Or he's tall, but he's just not big like a Rob Perez who's weighing 258, who I literally saw on his Instagram story or whatever it was. He was somewhere around there, just big heavyweights. So I think for the betterment of his health, his chin, and his life, he should go down to 205. And versus Travis St. John would be a great fight. Travis St. John instantly brings the energy, perfect to end off the prelims. Perfect energy to end off the prelims to transition into the main card with whatever scrap this will be. Parasitis got a decent chin, but I think Travis St. John is just so explosive. I could see him. Sorry, my girlfriend's about to walk inside. 1 second. I don't even know where I was at with the Travis St. John versus Ilias Parasitis, but that would be a pretty good scrap. How do I see that fight going? Just to end off this fight. Somehow I could see it going to decision, not gonna lie. Could see it going down to decision. Parasitis is pretty chill. He's with the shits a little bit, but Travis St. John is too. Let's be real. But this would just be great. Great energy, good scrap. And I can see Travis St. John, honestly, just going for it. And every shot he takes, basically, it's literally swing or get swung or whatever. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong one time or whatever. But it is what it is anyway. Travis St. John versus Ilias Parasitis. That would be a good fight to end off the prelims to, like I said, move on to the main card. And now that we're over with the prelims, we got the main card. The first fight on the main card, I got Alex Caceres versus Diego Zuniga. Listen, obviously we all want Montavious Ware versus Diego Zuniga, but Montavious Ware already has a fight signed for DBX Nashville, I'm pretty sure. So he might not be able to, make the exact next card. So we're making it work by Alex Caceres versus Diego Zuniga. Alex Caceres probably will get exposed. Probably would clip Diego a couple times. Could see him, cutting open Diego with either like an elbow or just some sort of like crazy punch that, Superman punch, maybe something crazy. But then I could see Diego Zuniga just boxing him out into a decision, or honestly knocking him down into getting a TKO, just following up. Just because Diego Zuniga looks like he's built like that. So that's my prediction for that. But Alex Caceres versus Diego Zuniga, how is that not entertaining? How is that not entertaining? Next fight, last girl fight on the card. We got Jessica Rose Clark making her return in DBX Atlanta versus Rain Guerrero. In my matchmaking fight after DBX 6, I made this fight as a match to make because Rain proved herself over Desiree Yanez when she seemed to be kind of like an obvious underdog. And Jess is coming off a loss. And, if I'm DBX, I want to build her up again, get her a layup or an easy win or whatever, or what seems to be an easy layup in Rain Guerrero. But I think Rain Guerrero's hands could make the difference here. Like, yes, Jess is obviously the better striker, has like the better boxing, more technical, more precise, has better speed, like I said, better technically all around basically. But I think the fact that she lost to Paula Betancourt in the first 3 rounds, all because she couldn't figure out Paula's right hand. And, obviously if I was Jess, I would be training that, just to work and get familiar with that. Sorry, I'm playing with these pages here. But I think Rain Guerrero's power and her heavy hands could just, expose Jessica Rose Clark again. And maybe she could find the decision or the TKO. Or she just gets a knockdown and, follows up with just bow, power, genuinely, like how Montavious Ware was ground and pounding and Alexander Shank with that left hand, just bah. But, probably not. It'll probably go to a decision and, most likely Jess. But we cannot count out Rain Guerrero. We saw how she did it against Desiree Yanez. So that'd be a good fight. Featured fight. This is a no-brainer. Francisco Trinaldo versus Jaleel Willis. Jaleel Willis coming off of a crazy uppercut of doom KO over Peter Stanoik. I'm pretty sure that's his first name, Peter. But that fight was pretty crazy. Versus Francisco Trinaldo, who is just the Brazilian beast, bro. We saw his fight with Eric Moon, bro. Literally split his guard with 5 elbows back to back. And then I think he ripped him to the body, spammed another elbow, and threw some sort of shot over the top, still in clinch range, and just dropped Eric Moon and finished him in 30 seconds. That was crazy. So I could see Francisco Trinaldo actually just destroying Jaleel Willis, because until Jaleel got the finish against Peter Stanoik, it was pretty close. It was pretty tit for tat, not going to lie. Jaleel was kind of making it more obvious. But, seeing how Peter Stanoik is, he's not the worst dirty boxer, but he's not the best either. So I can see Francisco actually kind of destroying Jaleel Willis, unless Jaleel Willis somehow flukes a KO. But that's just entertainment. That's what I would want to see on a main card personally. And the co-main event, and this was another match I made in my matchmaking video. Ben Wollis versus Gabriel Urit. How do you not make this fight? There's really not that many people in 145. I mean, there is, but no one that really deserves a clear matchup. I wouldn't put Diego Zuniga against Ben Wollis. Ben Wollis is probably just gonna. I mean, I could see Diego Zuniga honestly outboxing him, but Ben Wollis just it just doesn't seem like the fight to make. I mean, that would be a good fight too, but I don't have interest in that. I think Ben Wollis versus Gabriel Urit is good because we saw how dominant Gabriel Urit was over Akeem Bashir, who actually is a solid opponent, has crazy Muay Thai striking, and just crazy elbows. So for him to do that to someone like Akeem just proves to me that he could definitely stand, if not get a decision or TKO Ben Wollis. I'm not going to lie. I guess I get Ben Willis wasn't as familiar with the rule set, didn't have that DBX experience when he fought USA Saiyan, but for USA Saiyan to out-will you and out-quantity you, maybe not out-technique you, or maybe not land the better shots, but to just out-will you and basically, I personally still think USA Saiyan won or whatever, but it is what it is. I could see the argument for both sides, but USA Saiyan was just the one being more aggressive coming forward and just being more active in landing the more shots. Maybe not the better shots, but the more shots, and I think that's, what sold it for me personally. But that's besides the point. We're talking about Ben Willis versus Gabriel Urit. I could see Gabriel Urit doing it, but Ben Willis is a challenge. So that's just like a crazy come-in where I can't even predict it. Genuinely kind of is a pick-em. I'm not going to lie. I think the only thing on the downside of Willis is that he doesn't have the experience and his kicks, obviously, and can't sweep or like pop knees or anything. But Gabriel Urit doesn't seem to like have to be worried about kicks or whatever. Like his boxing looks sharp. The power in his hands, I think, is what is going to make the difference if this fight does get made. So, but yeah, for matchmaking 145, there's nothing that makes sense besides this matchup right here. And because listen, this would be 145 right now. You have Alex Caceres versus Diego Zuniga, whoever wins that fight, whatever. Then you have Ben Willis versus Gabriel Urit, whoever wins that fight, whatever. Then you have Montavious Ware in the mix of all this versus whoever he's fighting. I don't know, could be anyone, literally. Someone new, hopefully, in the mix. We need more people on the roster, but we got some motion to look forward to in the 45 division if this all plays out. And also, I know you can't pay all these people hella bands. You know what I'm saying? They got crazy investors in DBX, but it's like, this is it, bro. This is it. That's 145 basically. But anyway, let me stop rambling. At the main event, I already leaked this in my last video. Drop a bag and get Corey Jackson versus Tony Ferguson. What are we doing? Y'all have no problem pulling someone off the street for an inaugural title fight like Paula Bittencourt, even though it should have been Cat Elson. Anyway, there was some internal issues, didn't work out, whatever. This is still a young promotion. There's nothing wrong with pulling someone off the street. We could get Tony out of Brand Risk or wherever the fuck he's fighting or whatever with these boxing fights. I don't think it's Brand Risk. I hope it's not Brand Risk, bro. I'm pretty sure it's I don't know, but it's some fucking bullshit. But basically, get him in DBX against someone real like Corey Jackson. And if anything, you're trying to build Corey Jackson, right? We could see him finishing Tony Ferguson here. I think he'll get some damage on him for sure. This is going to be a war. This is going to be a main event for the ages. Drop the bag. Get T-Ferg in here. Corey's either going to knock him out or outpace him in a decision, I think, or Tony's going to dig deep, do damage, and just like TKO Corey. Or just outpace him. Like I'm saying, this is a genuine pick'em too. Tony's on the downside of his career, but still dangerous. Don't get me wrong. And Corey is just the DBX, the number one pound for pound DBX star in my opinion. So this fight is the fight to make. Nothing but tickets will be sold for that, and there will be nothing but clips all around the internet to promo Dirty Boxing. Like I said, I bet y'all don't got the bread like that. Like this ain't the UFC, but y'all can make this happen. Trust me. If this is DBX Atlanta, bro, oh my god, this would be fucking crazy. This would be crazy. You can't tell me I didn't cook with this card, bro. And honestly, I could throw a couple more fights on here, but I think 11's good for what kind of stars you kind of want on here or whatever. They're not like 100% stars per se, but to get to like basically pay T-Ferg and Corey Jackson and Ben Willis and Jesse just probably has to get paid a decent amount. Alex Caceres probably because he has name value. Everyone else can probably just get, unfortunately, their change or whatever, but I'm telling you, drop the bag. This is a great investment. People love Atlanta. Everyone looks for a reason to come to Atlanta. And if you like dirty boxing, there's hella, social media people here that will pull up, especially if, you hit them up, give them a ticket or whatever. But I'm telling you, I think I genuinely cooked with this card. Nothing but entertainment from start to finish. I think the placement on the card makes sense too. Just everything is good. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know if you have any matchmaking you all would want to see in the Atlanta card. If I'm, don't make any sense. If I'm wrong about anything, let me know. But I think I'm right about everything. Thank you. You guys have a good day.